Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How are you guys? I'm feeling good in the neighborhood. How about that? So let's see, who do we have in the chat today? JC, Calamity Jane. She became a YouTube member. Welcome, JC. JC, I think I put a little comment for her in there. I saw that when I checked in and logged in. So we have another member. We are reigning members. It's raining members. Hallelujah. It's raining members. I remember that song. What was that? The Weather Girls that used to sing that song. Okay, mail to the B. She says, Happy Sunday, Diva, Divas, and Gents. Dee, Divas, and Gents. Hello, mail to the B. She says, welcome, Jay. She's welcoming JC. Doris says she's listening while driving. Thank you for listening in, Doris. Welcome, JC. I'm telling her, welcome. Beverly, how are you, Bev? We got to catch up. Bev, how are you today on this Sunday? Look at that hair, of course, looking fabulous as usual. People are saying, hello. Kate, how are you, Kate? I just felt like we saw each other just yesterday. Hey, Kate. Nicole, how are you? How are you? I always feel like you're driving. Your pic looks like you were in the car, so I always feel like you're driving. You're probably at home just chilling somewhere. Okay, Mel is saying hello to people. Hey, Mindy. How are you, Mayor Mindy? How are you? We have Jen F. She says, hey, peeps. Hey, Jen. How are you, Jen? Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Lakeisha, how are you? You're always so dialed up. Geez, Louise. Oh gosh, that's goals for me. Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. CDXX. Okay, you gotta tell us. Are you on a GLP-1? I remember that. You were supposed to let us know in a couple weeks here. What is your status? Let us know. Hey, Jess, how are you? How are you? And we have my girl Cookie. She says, heading out to my granddaughter's birthday party. Happy birthday, granddaughter. But we'll definitely catch the replay. Well, thank you for stopping in. We appreciate that. So let me just get right into it. Let me get into my week. So, geez, Louise, first of all, I had a busy week. So I'm going to start off telling you guys about, just my little side effects, how my week went, and then we'll get into my weight. Wait, let me put my weight. The heck, every time I do this and I don't do it right. Oh, okay, it's in here. Okay, so my week 82. I can't believe this is week 82. I'm going to talk about my weight loss, my side effects, and a major setback I had. But my setback is a setup for a comeback. How about that? How about that? That's how I'm looking at it. I kind of think positive. All right. So my week 82, this has been a better week for me with the struggle of being on 12.5. So, if you guys have been watching my latest videos, I talked about my DEXA scan. And my DEXA scan, I lost a couple of pounds of muscle. And that didn't surprise me because I knew, I hadn't been eating protein. I knew I was having a hard time getting my calories in. I knew I was celebrating it up, for the month of July. So I knew all that stuff was going on. What surprised me, though, was that my visceral fat went down, which is great. And then my body fat went up a little bit, which now that I understand why all that happened, I guess I'm not thinking about it as such a bad thing as I was when I created the video. Because when I created the video, I just could not figure out. I'm like, what in the world? But everybody tells me, including my doctor, that I should be celebrating that visceral fat going down because that's the dangerous fat around your organs, and it's hard to get rid of that. So the fact that I was able to lose that visceral fat, I'm giving myself some kudos for that, right? But at the same time, I do want that muscle back. I want my muscle back. So what am I going to do to get that muscle back? I got to kick up my, my program here. So what I have committed to do, and, Mel, she appointed herself my gentle nudger. And so what Mel has been doing, and I will say she has been gentle. She hasn't been on me I thought she might be. She has really been gentle about it, but just reminding me to work out if I don't do it in the morning, which my goal is to do it in the mornings. But I'm going to be honest, all last week, I didn't even get it in the morning. I ended up doing it at work, taking brain breaks with my students, intentionally parking where you got to walk a nice little distance. And then one time I walked to my car and walked all the way back up to my classroom and walked all the way back to my car. I did that two days. And so that was my way of getting some extra steps in. I am following the strategy that I learned at DEXA-Scan, which is your 7,000 steps. It's called the 777. 7,000 steps, 7 hours of sleep, and 7 glasses of water. And I could do the last one, the water, easily because that's my drink of choice. The hard part for me with the 7 hours of sleep is kind of really have to be, intentional about it. I'm just not easy breezy laying down and falling asleep at 9 o'clock. So I have to be intentional about cutting things off. And, for me, it's like knowing when to start a project, because I'm one of those people, if I start something, I can't stop. Like I gotta, can't stop, won't stop. I gotta keep it going until I finish it. And sometimes that has had me up at 12 or 1 o'clock. So I've been not starting something and just doing something else, like organizing, cleaning, checking mail, doing little things that I know I could cut off at my bedtime. So that has helped. On the weekends, I'm up later because, of course, I could sleep in. I don't have to be up at a certain time. So I could stay up later on the weekends. But I've been getting in that 7 hours of sleep. So my goal is to get between 7 and 9. But I've been hitting that target a lot of nights. So I'm proud about that. And then that 7,000 steps, that's just being intentional, not parking so close to, the entrance when I go places, just kind of being intentional about getting extra steps in. And when people say it all adds up, that's so true. It does add up. But I'm going to set a goal for myself this week. I'm going to set a goal for myself this week to work out in the morning. And I had said, I'm going to get up every single day. Well, I know myself, every single day, it's not going to happen with me, but I'm going to give myself 3 times this week to get up in the morning before work, and get my buns moving on with the cardio. And then, of course, I'm going to do the strength training. I'm doing that 3 times a week. The strength training is not hard for me. It's just the cardio of it all. So one of the things I might do is I might just wear my clothes to bed. I might wear my sports bra, the shirt I'm going to wear. Of course, it's going to be clean, right? And then I'm just going to, have my pants on the side, roll out of the bed and put that on. I'm going to have my tennis shoes there. So I really want to be prepared. I have been known to sleep in my workout clothes when I was, really working out and trying to lose weight years and years ago. That was my thing to do. So I would just roll out of bed and be ready to go because I know myself, right? Be prepared. So that's my goal. 3 times this week, I'm going to get, work out in the morning, and I'm going to start off just like my weight loss, slow and steady, and kind of build my way up to it. So that is what I'm working on. My eating has gotten better with the 12.5 milligrams. It's kind of loosening up as we go. So my goal is to get between 15 and 16. My goal is to get between 16 and 800. Realistically, I'm getting between 15 and 1600. I have been hitting my 90 grams of protein. And what I've been doing is I've just been eating, nibbling on some chickens, even those little chicken tender bites. They have what do they call those? Bear bites, or I forget what they call them, but they're at Sam's Club. And those, they have a least amount of breading that I have found on some chicken nuggets, but I could easily pop those in. I've been, trying to eat cheese sticks, and I'm not a cheese fan, but I bought some cheese sticks, so I've been eating that. So I've been trying to do things to get protein in that is not, that doesn't have a lot of sugar, and just trying to stay with that. I've been eating a lot of apples, not a lot, but at once a day, apples keep the doctor away. I've been eating apples and peanut butter. And somebody told me to try almond butter. I have tried almond butter. I like the Justin's brand. I don't know if you guys know what Justin's is, but I have a lot of peanut butter, so I'm going to eat that up first, and then I'm going to move to the almond. So yeah, and I don't love the almond, but I'm starting to realize and come to terms with I'm trying to fuel my body. I'm not really trying to satisfy my taste buds. And I've always tried to do that. So I'm kind of moving away from that and trying to just give my body what it needs and worry about the taste after I swallow it. So some of my side effects, so the eating is okay. So some of my side effects, it's the same old, same old. This 12.5 it makes you, me, a little bit more tired and fatigued. And then I don't know if you guys remember, if you were listening to my live, I want to say that was last Sunday, maybe Wednesday, I was getting a little bit of a sore throat. And I thought, oh my goodness, I had said to myself this year, I'm going to commit to starting my class off with paper pencil quizzes because I give a quiz every Friday. And I said and I give a study guide so the kids can study all the way up. They take the quiz on Friday. And normally I give those all computer. I said, I'm going to start giving those. I'm going to start the year off for the first month that I do it, paper pencil. Well, I decided to change that because what happened was I started to get sick. When kids bring in papers and you're shuffling papers, they're sneezing, they're coughing, they're doing all kind of things. I'm doing the same thing. So we're spreading germs. And when I started to feel, a little something in my throat, I thought, oh no, I'm going back to my computer. And giving my quizzes on the computer, and then so that's what I'm starting to do as I started as of Friday. So I've been fighting something, and I've been successful because I've managed to not be sick. And I thought this is not this week to get sick because, I had a meeting with my financial advisor, which brings me to my setbacks. So so let me just say real quick, another side effect is this 12.5 is still taming the constipation. I really haven't had constipation, and I shouldn't say I really haven't had it because really you're supposed to eat poop or do something every time you eat. That's really what your body was designed to do. But of course, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that way to do that. Now, when I was eating vegetarian, vegan, every time I ate, I literally pretty much went to the bathroom. Not so much now that I'm not doing that. So that second day, if I don't, do a number 2, I take, Mago 7 or Colace. Well, I haven't had to do that, I don't think at all since I've been on 12.5 milligrams. Because every time I think I need to do it, I have to go. So it has taken care of that for me. So I'm excited about that. So, and that's still going on. So, and I don't know, I've heard other people, other content creators say on 12.5, they became regular. So that is happening for me, and I will take it. But I really want to get into my side effects, my setback, because my setbacks are things that have happened that have been emotional, and it was a setback for me in my thinking. And then I had to kind of redirect my thoughts and redirect myself. And when I'm putting up those community posts, they're for me just as much as they are for everybody else, trying to encourage people, trying to get you to be thoughtful and, what your day to day, right? Because it's so easy to get caught up and not be thoughtful in what we're doing. So those posts I even look at for myself. And one of my setbacks this week was that I was planning to meet with this financial advisor, and he canceled. We were supposed to meet Monday morning. He canceled Sunday around 8 o'clock. I want to say around 8 o'clock. And so I was just so upset, so frustrated, and I just had to refocus myself and think, what was going to happen. So I think I talked about this before. So that was one setback, my financial advisor. My second setback, and I'm going to talk about this. I'm not going to get into it right now. I'm going to talk about this in a video because I got to dedicate a video to this. But, you guys remember I told you I was going to my gynecologist, and I was getting my, really, I wanted to find out, am I in menopause? Well, that appointment did not go the way I planned. And when I tell you it was a setback, I went from being so upset I could have cried and went off in the doctor's office to not in the doctor's office because this happened after I left out of her office. But so I went from that to really calming myself down and thinking about it and thinking, I'm just going to have to take a different course here. So that's kind of what I did, So anyway, that was such a setback because, I had plans around what was going to happen in this meeting. And, when they say, God does things on his own time and it's not in your time, that is so true. So I just kind of had to, just kind of reflect and, as I feel like I just wait till I'm just going to tell you in the video. I just felt just had my time wasted. I was so disappointed. I left with more things to do than when I started from. So that was such a setback for me emotionally because I'm an emotional eater. And so one of the things I did was I phoned a friend again instead of, me going to eat, where I was, there's like a cheesecake factory near. I probably, in my older days, younger days, or when I wasn't on a GLP-1 or had this mindset, I would have gotten a piece of cheesecake or, treated myself out to some lunch. But I did not. I didn't do any of that. I just kind of phoned a friend and I just did some work. And one of the things I had to do was figure out what I was going to do now. So it's just, I really don't want to get into it right now because it's going to change the whole course of the conversation. So that was pretty much my week. And I'm going to tell you one of the, it was two things. And I was saying it's something else that happened. Geez, I can't remember exactly what it is right now. But on the positive note, so that was a setback, just medical things. So one of the positive things was, for me, which kind of leads me into my weight loss. My daughter, one day, I had on these jeans, like this, now the jeans have come back where they're bell bottoms. I should have really taken a picture of this, but the jeans have come back where they're bell bottoms. And I don't know if you guys remember me showing you on the community post, I was trying on these clothes and the clothes were like a size XL, 14s, 12s, and I could fit them. And I was shocked. Right. And so, I had these pants and they were a 14. And when I tried them on, they were kind of big. They're not kind of big. They're big at the bottom because they're supposed to be. And normally I wouldn't wear something that was big at the bottom like that because I thought it makes me look bigger. But these pants were so cute. And so they fit perfect. But I just knew I probably am. If I lost inches, I'm going to need a smaller size, which would have been a 12, right? So I was like, I'm just getting a 14. So, I've wore them to school before school started. I think I wore them, or maybe it was that first week of school I wore them. They fit fine. A little big, but not too much. Well, when I just wore them last week, they fit super big. Even my daughter said, Mom, those jeans are cute, but they're too big for you. So I just thought, oh my goodness, what a great non-scale victory. And, coming from a child, you got to take it because these kids are brutally honest. They're going to let you know all that, and they're going to let you know when you're not. So coming from her, that was like such a huge compliment. And I just thought to myself, like, what is this scale going to say? And once she gave me that compliment, I don't really care what the scale says. I'm just weighing in really because, I'm trying to get down to this 25. This 25 extra pounds down to get to that 100, or is it at 25 now? I don't know. We'll have to see if I lost weight. But I'm just trying to get down to that, lose 100 pounds. That's my first big goal here. So we're going to see what we did. So I don't know, but a lot of times I feel like when I lose inches, the pounds just stick to me. So what do you guys think? Do you think I lost weight or gained weight this week? And I said all that in less than 20 minutes. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. All right. So what are you guys thinking? Do you think I lost weight? Do you think I gained weight? Do you think I maintained? So lost, gained, or maintained? What did I do? Let's see. What are you guys saying in the chat? We had Shay come in here. Hey, name to it. We have Bellflower. Hey, Bellflower. We got JC, Calamity Jane. How are you? Thank you for being a member. And, JC, she started a channel. I couldn't believe I found out on Saturday. What's today? Sunday. Saturday. Was that Saturday? I found out on Saturday that she started a channel. So I love that. I love it. And I watched your video. I have to show my daughter because you had all those chickens in there and she's going to love seeing that. Your picture was in the car. Yeah. So I always think you're driving. I'm thinking we're going somewhere. Okay. I mean, Nicole, I don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere. I love that. MVP. How are you? How are you? Okay. So you guys are saying hello. Real Journal Talk with V. How are you? Okay. our friend here, did you get on a GLP-1? So you're on 0.25 until October. The only side effect was constipation, but I got it under control. Well, excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's give you some confetti for that. Very good. We love that. Thank you for coming back to let us know. Okay, so you have to let us know your progress or if you have some challenges so we can help you through it. We love that for you. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, all right. Simply Taisha. She says, happy Sunday, driving and listening. I love it. I love it. I think I said hi, real talk, journal talk with V, but just in case. Hey, V, how are you? It's a healthy life journey. Happy Sunday, Dee Dee, and everyone in the chat. How are you? How are you? Hey, Jamie. She says, happy Sunday to you. Oh, we got to get those extra steps and sleep in, Dee Dee. Keep up the good work. Yes, I'm making a concerted effort to do that. What are you specifically doing for strength training? Well, I'm still doing the Lift with C videos. That's what I'm doing, the Lift with C. And sometimes when I'm feeling like extra, I'll do my little Taibo and I'll add the weights. I have some ankle weights, I have some wrist weights, and I have some smaller weights where I could do the jabs and punches. So that sort of thing. But I love that Lift with C. You know, she's one of those ones where I'm also like, I'm kind of loyal and faithful. So once I start something, unless you just tick me off or something, I'm going to stick with it. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And when I say I can push myself with the weights, I could either do more reps or sometimes, you know, with the Lift with C, because I've been doing it for a while. Sometimes I found myself, now remember when I was doing Pilates, I wasn't doing 3 Lift with C's. I was just doing that one. And usually I would do something with my arms or legs, back and forth between the two. It depended on what I did in Pilates. If I felt like I worked a lot with legs, I would do arms or vice versa. But one of the things with Lift with C is she lifts some heavier weights. And so the weights I had were up to 10. And so when she would do some things with 20, I would put the 2 10s together. But sometimes I know I could have done more. Do you know that's what the trainer is good to push you? Because I know sometimes I was doing the 5s and I would get tired. And then after a while, and then my tolerance got better, and then I didn't go up to the 8. You know what I'm saying? Or I would do the 8s and didn't go up to the 10. So I need to do that. I really need to do that. That is one of my goals too. And I'm going to be showing you guys here coming up, like some of my exercise things that I have going on. I have a lot of exercise choices, and I need to, like I said, I was going to start doing that and maybe showing more of, you know, my little gym here at home and actually using it, because it's about to be wintertime, and I just don't want to get into the slump of, you know, the winter and the winter. Fall is one of my favorite seasons, but I don't want to get into a wintertime slump. She said, that's a good plan, Dee Dee. I need to do the same thing so I could work out in the morning. Yes, you got, you know, that morning, I feel so accomplished when I get it over with. Like, I almost feel like there's nothing I can't do, right? Because I've done something I didn't want to do and knocked it out. And I love that feeling. So how come I'm not keeping up with that? I don't know. Oh my goodness. So she says, Nicole, my name twin, and Shay's name twin is Shay. Yes, I love that. Moved up to 5 on Friday, was so worried about the side effects and none. So happy you're down 24 pounds. Excellent, Doris. That's excellent. Good for you. 24 pounds. That's a lot of weight. That's like a couple sizes probably. Depending on your size, it's probably a couple sizes. Just Bear, I get those. Oh, Just Bear. Okay. Now, what are you saying, Just Bear? What is Just Bear? I've heard that, but what is it? I don't know. What does the 777 help with? Improve the weight loss? Yes, it just gets you, it's just like a target, like a goal you set for your steps, your sleep, and your water. So it does help with weight loss. It also helps with, you know, like if you're doing a lot of strength training, it can help with muscle recovery, all of that. Just making sure you get in the essentials, which is, you know, to lose weight, the essentials are, you know, sleep, movement, and hydration. So yeah, those are the 3. All right, let's see. I'm skipping down. Let's see. Dee Dee, I used to Just Bear. Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about. Sorry. Just bare, lightly breaded chicken nuggets or strips. I use it sometimes when you don't want a full meal. Just try to get the protein in. Yeah. And I realize it's not the best because it's a little breaded, but I figure just like the protein bar, you got to do what you got to do. You know, you guys probably are like, oh, here she goes again. But here, eventually, I'm going to be giving up the meat again. And just focusing on seafood as my main protein. I really am, just because I don't love it. I could tell I felt better and lighter when I was doing that. So I'm just gonna have to like plan my menu out. I probably will contact a nutritionist at this point, just to help me like make sure I'm getting the protein in, because that's what I was worried about before, and not overeating the carbs. And I don't know when that's going to be, but sometime here soon. I see my doctor at the end of next month, and so when I see her, I want to have like to be able to talk with her about this and see where we go from here. And then also my blood work and stuff will be in at that point, so that's also going to let me know if I need to tweak anything. I'm all about when something doesn't work, tweak it. Let's see. Thanks, Bear. Let's see. You said, oh, you do the same thing, those nuggets and some cherry tomatoes. Tomato. Tyson has some unbreaded chicken strips too, and they are surprisingly good. Ooh, sounds yummy. TLDR, what's the setback? Oh, the setback was my medical things that were happening with my doctor, my gynecologist that I went to see. So my setbacks were things that happened that were like emotional triggers. And, it did kind of threw me off. Also, I got a little bit sick this week. I caught it before it really got in there. And I don't know if you could tell because I try to keep my energy up, but I did kind of catch it before it got out of control. So I had so much going on this week. I had a lot of stuff to pack in to this week that I was able to get through. But one of the things I didn't do is I didn't go to the emotional eating of it all. So I'm going to have to create a separate video about my setback, because I just realized, other than telling you it was like with my gynecologist, because it's just a lot to unpack with that. And I don't want to be upset and crying on this live either. So I had some emotional 3 things that were just like a huge setback for me this and I guess I have to remember things don't always go as I planned. And so instead of eating, one of the good things that came out of it is I was just able to phone a friend and kind of talk through it with the one friend I was able to talk to. She retired last year, so she could really, she supported me with that when the financial advisor canceled, because I was thinking about putting my retirement letter in Friday because I would have met with him on Monday. So that didn't happen. So, I mean, it's in God's timing, with the things that with my doctor, I was expecting to, be on some kind of plan after I left my doctor, and she just put a whole monkey wrench in that. So yeah, it's just a lot of things. And I think that has really set me back on where I plan to be at this point, with my whole hormones and menopause and all of that. So yeah, it's just was annoying. It was annoying. I mean, the people I told about, a couple of friends I told about, they were upset for me. That's how annoying it was. But I'm going to talk about it in a video, probably make it tonight when I get home from, taking my daughter to her gymnastics, because, like I said, it's just, it needs some dedication. Okay, I'm going to scroll down and see. So frustrating when doctor's visits don't go according to plan. Yes. Yeah, just wait you hear about this, Kate. It's not good. Great non-scale victory. Thank you. Speaking of Downsizing Diva, those non-scale victories scream much louder than the scale. Yes, and just coming from my daughter, I know she's going to keep it real. So coming from her, it's a huge thing. All right, so you guys are saying you think I lost. You think I'm down, lost. I have another lost. We have maintained at least 1.2 pounds. Geez Louise, at least 2.2. Okay. 0.08. You guys are good. I say you lost 2.2. I say we all lose whether the scale says. You definitely lost with all those non-scale victories this week. Okay, MVP, you lost 0.2, DD. Hey, Miss B. She said, good morning, DD. You lost this week, I think, 6 pounds. I'll take it. I needed to lose. I got 6 pounds of anger off my back. Oh my goodness. You know, I would say anger real quick and then immediately turn to disappointment because I love my doctor. I don't want to cry about it. So I'm not going to talk about it. Let's see. Cheese, Louise, Miss V, Just Bear, the chicken tenders, and I love those. I love those. I like getting my workouts done in the morning too. Very good. Okay, so you guys have guess. Okay, let me go to my weight. Let me go to my weight. Let me change to the doctor topic. See, that's why I want to talk about the doctor because I love this lady. And so it's just gonna make me upset thinking about it. So I'm not going to. I'm gonna control myself in this video. That's why I was like, I'm gonna make this video. I was gonna make it yesterday. I noticed I was so emotional talking about it. I was like, I gotta save it till I'm like over it. So I'm obviously not over it, but I'm making it this tonight. Unless something happens and I and we get home super late. As we also have to visit the nursing home today. So I got a couple stops to make. So let's get to my weight. But before that, let me show you guys, you know, one of the things that was happening was I was having the swelling of it all. So this is when remember when I was so retaining water, inflammation and all of that. Look at that. So then when we go to the middle pick, that was yesterday or the other day. Yesterday, I think that was yesterday. It might have been Friday, but I want to say it was yesterday. And so yesterday, you know, I'm back to normal. Which is a good thing, because look at that. Like that was how I've been since school started. And then since I've been, you know, making sure I'm drinking now, I'm going to the restroom. You figure out who's going to watch those kids. Well, I've been figuring it out. I got to go. Right. So I've been doing that. I've been drinking more and I've been going more, but it has worked out. And, you know, usually when you put a plan in place and stick with it, things happen. And then finally, you guys, if you watch my video about my RMR, you know that my metabolism has slowed, so my RMR is down. So one of my goals is to kind of get that going again. And so I'm going to be taking another one when I take my DEXA scan. It's like a package deal for me, so I'm going to be taking that again. So all of those things are why I'm committed to getting up in the morning and get moving. And if I don't do it in the morning, I'm going to do it at my lunchtime because I could walk at lunch, you know, have a half hour at lunch around my building. My building is huge. You go up and down stairs. That enough alone is just gets you moving. But so I just have to make a conscious effort. But for next week, I'm just going to make an effort to 3 times a week to get up and just start my day off with exercise before I leave the house. That's my commitment to myself. So just like I would commit to my daughter or one of you, I wouldn't break it. I'm not going to break it for you know, for myself. So that's my commitment. So that just brings me to my weight, and my weight this week is, here we go. Let me take this banner off so you guys can see. Bam! Hey, hey. Well, I was 230.8. I'm down to 229.4. I lost 1.4 pounds. I am so excited. Who knew what that scale was going to say? I don't know. I never know. I don't even like getting on it, but I am down 77 pounds. Whenever I see a 0.4, because my weight start was, you know, the one I started, I was actually bigger than 306.4. But for the purposes of when I started Mounjaro, I was 306.4. And so when I see that 0.4, I know it's going to be an even number. For some reason, I get excited. But my non-scale victories were sharing my RMR results. And, you know, my metabolism crashed a little bit when I shared my RMR results. And because of everything that was going on, I wasn't shocked at it went down, but I was shocked that it went down that many calories, that I'm not burning as many calories. So I was shocked by the amount that it went down. But I shared it, and, you know, I'm just going to work on it to get it better. And my other non-scale victory was wearing yet another blue jean blazer. So, you know, you guys, you're going to be seeing so many clothes that I have that you're going to be like, this girl has so many jackets and this and that. I have so many clothes. Half of them I couldn't fit because I couldn't get into them. But I'm going to show you another jacket that I'm able to fit into. Jeez, Louise. So here is my jacket. I think this jacket is so cute. It buttons up. I'm not going to really button it. But look at this jacket. And then again, we're trying to go in. You see the look, go in. Just honestly. And then here's the back of it. Can you see the back? I just love my little jacket. I had so many of these jackets. So yeah, look at the arms. This is just, just sitting there looking at me like, I wish you could fit me, but you can't. So now I can fit it. I'm so excited, so excited. So I am ready for the fall. I have so many jackets. So every week I'll probably be sharing them. I have like 4, maybe 5 more blue jean jackets that I haven't showed that are super cute, that I could not wear, that I could wear now. And I have so many cute blazers that I could not wear, that I could wear now. And their size is like 14. There's mostly a size 14, 1X. I was wearing a 2 and 3X. Well, for me, I always like bigger. So some of my shirts were 3X or blazers when I really could have used a 2X. And, since I've been on here showing things, Nicole, Bellflower, or Mel will tell me that really is too big for you. Even that is too big for you. But I like something that doesn't fit tight to my skin, remember? So that's why for me, if I can button it up. If I could button it up, even if it's a little bigger, I just love it, because before I couldn't even button it up. So I am also going by that, and that's what we got to remember, those non-scale victories, because if I just let the scale controlled how I felt from week to week, I would be one disappointed lady. Because it's not always going down. So I love that. And, I'm also going by my daughter. And another thing, too, is yesterday I was, supposed to go to my cousin's house. And she told me that she was going to be at the house with a family member until 6:30. And then she was taking her back to the nursing home. So I said, well, she said 6:30, but she likes to go back. She doesn't really like staying at her house. So I told her, I said, well, when I finish doing what I'm doing, and it went longer than I thought, and then I wanted to do something after that, I did make seeing her. So that's why I'm going today. But anyway, when I was, she FaceTimed me, and I wasn't expecting her to FaceTime me. So she FaceTimed me, and, normally I don't hear my phone because my ringer is always off. So if you call and I call you back, it's because my ringer stays off. If I catch a phone call, it's because the phone is sitting there and I can actually see it, or sometimes it vibrates. Well, I just happen to have the phone right there looking right at me. So I pick it up. We're on FaceTime. And so as we're talking, she's talking, and then she's showing me, different things. And then my daughter comes up and she's like, Shay, she was like, oh my gosh, your face is so slim. She said, geez, Louise. And, because I probably got her saying that too now. And so, so I was just like, oh my goodness. So my cousin noticed it, and she had seen me before, but, since I've been on this journey, I was at her house maybe a month or so ago. So she see me, but I guess maybe I looked a little bit different when she saw me, or a little bit slimmer. And then she's like, oh, I can see your neck. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the neck is doing it. So, but it just depends, because sometimes I feel like I'm bloated. Do you guys, I know that's just like the changes of hormones and women and all of that. But sometimes I feel bloated, and sometimes I feel like really like I'm thinning out. And then sometimes I'm just like, what is going on? So anyway, I'm excited. I was excited to see that scale move, because you just never know. Anissa said she thought I had lost 3 pounds. No, I haven't had a big loss like that in a while. I see you guys are still guessing. Wow, Kate, you're doing great. Wow, Kate, you're doing great. Or did I miss something? I miss Kate saying, oh, Kate, okay. Kate said from 10 to 7.5 last Saturday to 5 yesterday. I'll take another 2.5 shot during the week if the 5 is too low. Okay, all right, very good. So from 10 to 7.5 to 5. So you're going down, down, down. I love that. Okay, very good. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Let's see. Let me see. You just ate 3 burgers. Oh my goodness. Well, why'd you eat 3? Wait, what did Mel say? Because who's trying to be like her when she grows up? V. Okay, B. I do 10 to 15-minute walks throughout the day. I usually get 10 to, yes, 13K steps per day on the walking pad while standing up while at team meetings as well. Yeah, and Mel is always on the move. If you ever talk to her, she is always moving, or you're talking to her and she's like, yeah, I'm on my walking pad right now. I'm like, you are? I just get my you said I just set up my Samsung Fit Watch this weekend. I'm looking to increase these steps. Yeah, me too. Devin says I'm never eating that crap again. Okay, all right. Well, 3 cheeseburgers or hamburgers is a lot. Jen says I like working out in a class group of people, so it depends on the class. I work out sometimes at 6:30, 9:30, or 11:30. Yes, and if and when I retire next year, I'm going with when, not if, but when I retire next year, I'm going to have like a gym, a group thing, something that I'm like committed to in place. And, it'll not be hard to do because I won't have, I'm used to going somewhere and doing something. So I'll be really able to, to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. But, it's like even when you have free time, you kind of fill your time up with what's important. So I want to really learn to love working out so that it's just an important part of what I do each day. And it's a mindset with me. It really is. But my mind is shifting. So I love that. I must have a heart cold. I fire doctors all the time. Yes. And Jen, I do. I just have a big heart. I always say it's a teacher heart because you got to be a teacher to kind of understand. But or not, I don't know, maybe you don't, but this doctor, I love this doctor, and one of the things is she reminds me of my mom. Like I'm going to say she's in her late 60s, she might be in her 70s, she looks great. But she reminds me, I envision that's how my mom would have looked if she had gotten older. So that's one of the reasons too, that I just hate to like make that disconnect with her. And so I'm not even sure like what I'm going to do about it. As far as with her, it's look, I know what I'm going to do, but as far as like what direction I'm going with her, I haven't really thought about that yet, but yeah, she reminds me of my mom. So I hate to do that. And it's other reasons too that she's really done some great things. I get on here and talk about my doctors in the best way. And so I hate that I ran into a snafu, and it's not just a little snafu. I think it's a big snafu, but she's going to have to talk to me about it. Cause if you know me, when I, disconnect or fall out with people and or people fall out with me, I like to talk about it because I want you to know what I don't like, and if we can fix it, great. If we can't, let's just keep it moving. And a lot of people don't operate like that, and people say it's confrontational. I'm like, not confrontational. I just like to talk my feelings out. I don't like to be like, I want people to know where they stand with me. And she is one of those people. I want her to know how I felt. Like I really didn't get a chance to talk to her about how I felt about it, but she is going to hear from me, and not just in a text. Like we might have to do a phone video call because I do have some blood work that I got done. So we'll see. I'm just trying to wait until I'm like not so upset about it, so I don't say something I'm gonna have to go back and ask the Lord to forgive me for. I love when I can incorporate my steps into team meetings during work too. It makes a big difference. I love that. Very good. So you guys are moving and grooving. She says, Jen, I don't doubt it. Yeah, Jen is like, yeah, out of here. Bellflower, good luck. Yes, because I pay out of pocket and had rapid onset overweight due to perimenopause. I'm hoping I could get off Zepbound and the bio HRT will be enough. If not, I am prepared. Well, since we're talking about that, I wanted to remind you guys that on Saturday, and I should have put the thumbnail up here, but on Saturday, I am having another panel. I should say we are having another panel, but it's going to be on Downsizing Diva channel with myself. And I put the people up here in ABC order of their first name. So Downsizing Diva, Lorraine from the Downsize, Mel to the B, and Simply Taisha. We're going to be having our part 2. When we had that part live panel, people were so so interested in us doing a part 2 and just saying how, you know, they got so much information. So at this one, I'll have something to share because now it won't be what I wanted it to be because of my snafu. But so I'll be telling you guys on that one as well, like, you know, where I stand and what's going on with my hormones. Am I in menopause or am I not? You know, what is going on with the Downsizing Diva? I just can't wait to share it and find out myself. And the only way I want to have that video out by Thursday, but the only way I won't have it out is if I'm just so emotional I can't make the video. Well, what's great about the videos and not live is like you could kind of pause it, right? And you know, there are not a lot of things that make me so emotional. Always my daughter, it's whether it's good or bad. You know, if you want to get me crying, you just do something nice for my daughter, and something that's a connection to my mom in some way. And so this is not just about the doctor. This is about also my mom. So anyway, that's all I'll say about that. But okay, you know, we got to get these hormones and stuff together. We just do, right? I agree. Okay. What are you guys saying? I'm back up in this chat. I'm also considering a Pilates program online by Body. They have a promo where they give you the home equipment. Dee, you're doing Pilates. What's weight training? Doesn't Pilates count as strict training? Well, I was counting, but now I'm not doing Pilates. And you know what? Now that you say that, let me look on my app because I have 5 more classes left, and they just wiped my classes out. Yeah, they just wipe. If you don't use them by a certain time, they wipe those classes out. I was trying to donate it to somebody, and they didn't do that. They didn't do that. I have a friend who wants to go, and I see why. Because you know, my friend would have went for 5 times, and then she probably wouldn't have kept it up. But I had a friend who wanted to go, but I knew that when I joined up for the classes that I couldn't continue probably into August and September. But that's kind of crappy that they do that. That really is kind of crappy that they do that. But Pilates is strength training. But I learned from DEXA scan, and I think I didn't realize it wasn't really enough though. It wasn't as strenuous as I needed it to be. And so if I'm going to take Pilates again because I just love it. But what I would do is I would push myself even harder, or even they have like 101 classes where the lady could show you like what you need to do and how you need to do it. So I think I would do that a couple of times so that I could apply what she's teaching me how to do to, to the exercise. But Pilates is great. Happy DD Sunday and the Centennial Sunday subbies. Sincerely supporting superstars. Darian, how are you? You know, I just have to say too, congrats on reaching a new decade, Didi. What do you mean, a new decade? Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Darian, you are right. I'm in the 2 twos. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, dun, 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 dun. Hey, dun, 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 dun. Shay. I didn't think about that. You are right. Jeez. Oh man. Myself petty. How about that? So I'm getting closer and closer. When I'm at Wonderland, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what? When I'm at Wonderland, this is something I'm going to do. When I'm at Wonderland, I don't know. It's going to be before the new year. I'm going to be giving away prizes probably left and right, things left and right for the holiday time because I like to give, especially, around the holiday time. I just like to bless people. So I am going to be giving away stuff left and right. So when I get to that 100 pounds down, I might give, I don't know. Well, I'm not going to say now because then I want to stick to it, but it's going to be 100 of something. I'm so excited about the potential of just getting there by the end of the year. So that's why I want to step my game up so that I can get there. And I'm just going to be so excited. I just can't wait. It's just like, how like you have a goal you want to get to. So thank you guys. I see all the cheering. Congratulations. I appreciate that. Kate, BHRT for the win. Yes. And you guys, Nicole, you are no nonsense too. Nicole, you are no nonsense. You really are. I love that. I love that. I need no nonsense friends because I have another friend, Dee Dee. I'm very proud of you. I know personally that you uh been walking and eat more and eating more. Yes. And I have this one friend, Nicole, and I told you I'm gonna have to call you up when she's not able to chat with me at the time. But she's like, girl, I keep telling you, you can't lead with your heart. You lead with your heart too much. She's like, you gotta cut it off. So I told her about this doctor. She'd be like, I don't care. She reminds you of your mom. I don't care. She did this and that. Goodbye. And I'm so like, oh, I'm like that with everything except for when it comes to dating. And dating, I will cut you off probably before I should, which is probably why I'm going to be single for a long time. With relationships, I'm just like I'm like a tough one. But with relationships and friendships and doctor and women and my guy friend, I just kind of like have a heart for people and a tolerance. And I've gotten better though. I have gotten better. I've learned I've cut some things off, especially when I turned 50. When I felt like I turned 50, I was just like cutting stuff out left and right. So yeah. So, but I feel like as I'm getting a little older, I find myself softening up again. And so I'm going to have to like not do that. Congrats, congrats, congrats. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your support. Knowing I got to come here and weigh in, I'm not stressed, but it does give me some motivation. I will say that. Downsizing Diva, busting out of the 230s here. I didn't realize I was busting out of the 230s. That is so funny. I'm like, what is Darian talking about again? And he hit it on the head on the nail. Congrats, Dee Dee. 1.4 pounds closer to your goal of 100 pounds this year. Yes, 100 pounds. I'm excited. And all online trainers are a scam. Weight trumps everything. Weights trump everything. Devin is not playing. Real life personal trainers are superior, certified, of course. Yes, yes, yes. And a lot of gyms here that you go to, they come with so much time for a personal trainer. So that's one of the things I said I was going to look into. And, that's another thing with that whole doctor situation. It threw me off. This is not my setback, but I was explaining too. I do a lot of stuff with and for my dad. So I had to call around. And that's another thing. When it comes to these doctors and stuff with him, I'm no nonsense. It's just my own. But I had to call around and find out stuff with him with his dental situation. I told you I went to the dentist with him last week. And then it just led to, they were supposed to be doing something for him. I had to make some calls. And so by Friday, I'm thinking he's going to hear something that he needed to know, and he still haven't heard. So that's another call I got to make on Monday. Just stuff like that. It's always something going on, but that's okay. That's all right. That's okay. Just jumping in here. I do Pilates, love it, but it doesn't fully replace strength training, weights, or bands. I'd incorporate something else. # not a trainer. Yes, and my DEXA scan guy told me that. He told me that I would incorporate Pilates is great, but you're not doing the up and jump moving like you would if you were doing cardio. Like the movement is not like a continuous, because sometimes you're laying down, sometimes you're getting up. Now they do have like a cardio sculpt, but that's a lot with legs. And if you remember from my DEXA scan, that my legs was where they're supposed to be. It was just the arms. And now that when I reflect back, yeah, I probably wasn't doing as much with my arms and Pilates as I was my core and my legs. So that's where I, need to pick up the slack from. So, and we know, we all say it, we all know we're going to lose muscle when when you're on a weight loss journey and you're losing weight, especially quickly. You may, if you're not really dedicated and putting the work in to, keep that muscle up. So, I just want to stay like, I'm in the elite category. I'm holding on like by my fingernails and I'm trying to stay there. So I'm not trying to lose at all any more muscle. But I wanted to share with you guys because I made that video about my RMR, and somebody left me this comment, and they left me this comment, and I'm gonna read this comment. I'm not gonna say who it is because it doesn't even matter. They know who they are, but I did respond to it. So this person said, I think they meant your RMR, but they said your BMR. So they said your BMR is a direct reflection of your diet and exercise habits. GLP-1s, and I don't know if they're saying it like this, but this is how I'm saying it. GLP-1s don't make them better or worse. We do, and it takes a long time to do it too. So I guess, I don't know. Sometimes when people make comments, I could tell they didn't watch the whole video, or it's like you're listening to somebody and you grab onto one thing they say and everything else they say is out the window, right? And I know a lot of people are watching these videos and hearing fast forwarding it through, or, going to a part they want to see, or hearing what you say in the first 3 minutes and then they log off. And I can tell a lot of that is going on, and that's okay. I figured do whatever you want to do. The video is there whenever you got 15 good minutes to listen to it. But I wrote back and I said, hello, thank you for watching. Absolutely, which was my main point in the video. The GLP-1 had a direct impact on my diet and exercise. Once I started 12.5 milligrams, my appetite was zapped. I wasn't eating enough calories or protein. I was tired and I didn't get in my exercise. Just like we have to take credit for the GLP-1 when it works in our favor, we have to give attribution when it doesn't. This was my second RMR, so I had a comparison. I know exactly where I came from. And that was my comment. So I'm just going to say, to anybody who thinks that, I'm blaming the GLP-1 because my metabolism went down and my DEXA scan wasn't, where I wanted it to be. Partly it is because of the GLP-1. It's my decisions, but it is because that GLP-1 zapped my appetite. It really did. Like, it's documented. I've been saying it for months. So it is because of the GLP-1. Now, what can I do about it? I can either go up or down in dose. I could go down in dose. I wouldn't go up. I could go down in a dose, which I'm going to wait to meet with my doctor. And if things aren't where they need to be, I'm going to make a decision whether I'm going to go back down to 10. And on 10, I was having food noise. Remember, I was battling it out. People were telling me, just move up already. But I didn't want to do that because I wanted to work through. I think on these medications, sometimes you are going to be hungry. Like, I'm not with that train of thought that everything has to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You are going to be hungry. Am I never going to feel hunger for the rest of my life because I'm taking a GLP-1? I think that's unrealistic. So I am going to be hungry. It is going to be times where I'm going to have a little bit of food noise. And I was working through all of that on 10. One of the other things that pushed me over is, remember, when I went to the doctor and saw that my A1C did not go down, that is one of the things that also pushed me to 12.5. So, but when I got to 12.5, who knew that it was going to do a razzle dazzle in not the best dazzling way on my appetite and how I was eating and all that. So so I just think we give GLP-1s credit when they do for us what we want it to do. It also has to take a little bit of a hit if it zaps our appetite or things don't go exactly how we plan. So yeah, it was my decision, but it also is the effect from the GLP-1. So I just want to make that clear for anybody out there, or that person that's watching. They didn't comment back. But for anybody that's out there that's watching, the GLP-1s, like, you got to give it credit when it does well, but it's also affecting, your appetite, your ability to eat. And that's when you have to decide, are you going to go down? What are you going to do so that it works for you? So going down is a thing. I could be going down, and, people were right when they say, just because you go up on a dose, that doesn't make you lose more weight. Like, I'm just what do you call that? An example of that. I didn't lose more weight and lose a ton of weight just because I went up to 12.5. So I am going to be willing to go down. And if, hopefully, I'll just have to work through my hunger and all of that. I'd rather lose weight slower and be able to eat and get my calories in and maintain my muscle mass and maintain my healthy insides than to, unless my A1C is affected, then to be like, up on this dose, can't really eat and all of that, and can't get the protein in, coming on here saying that every week and being on a 12.5. I don't want that for myself. So, and that's just what I'm doing on my journey. Now, this is just one woman's way she's going. I don't care what anybody else is doing and how they're doing it. I can only do what's right for me. So, with that said, I love the comments. One of the things I always say is, I learn from people who I don't agree with probably the most, right? Because somebody who you agree with all the time, you're not really thinking of a different way. And I want everybody who has interacted with me at some point to say, I didn't think about it that way, or, oh, that's a good way to think about it. And everybody I've ever talked to have said that to me at some point or another. Like, oh, I didn't think about it that way, or, oh, that's a good point. And so I love like a little bit of dissension. I just don't like disrespect, and I don't give it, and I don't like that. And I haven't had that in my comments at all. So I am grateful for that at some point. I'm sure I'll get it. The bigger you are and the more you grow, they say people can be disrespectful. And and that I just don't like, because I don't give it out. So I don't like to get it. I feel like you got to reciprocate. you know so, but yeah, I just want to address that comment, because I always think, like, how you tell kids, like, if you have this question, somebody else probably has it. So if that person thought that, somebody else probably thought that. When we're getting on here telling these stories and we're blaming, I think I said in my DEXA scan, don't argue with the DEXA scan. The DEXA scan is right. So I'm never going to argue with the DEXA scan. I'm going to talk about what I did and what I need to do better. That's my theme. What I did, what I could work on, and what I could do better. And I that's just how I function for myself. So, but yeah, Pilates, yeah, I love Pilates, but Pilates is not, it's just, you should be doing something in addition to that. Mel said that, the DEXA scan said that, my DEXA scan proved that. You should be doing something else. And maybe if I was doing Pilates more, because I was only doing Pilates twice a week. That's I'm on a retirement budget, so that's all I could afford and wanted to pay for. And so that's why that third day I was doing that strength training, and then that fourth day I would get in a cardio if I could. So now I know that that's just not enough for what I'm trying to do. So I got to step my game up, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So what are you guys saying? People are talking about Pilates and strength training. Love it. Yeah, I like doing push-ups too. I like doing push-ups on my bedpost. Joe, how are you? Welcome, Joe. Congratulations, you're smashing it. I am trying to. It's so funny, because I when I see a commercial, or how you turn things on, like, I think that's God. I do. When you turn things on in the morning and you see, I've been seeing so many videos about being a vegan and a vegetarian. And not that I want to be a vegan, because I wouldn't be doing it for the ethical reasons of it all. I would be doing it for the health, more so the health benefits, and more so a vegetarian, not a vegan. But I was like, gosh, is this God like nudging me in this way? Because, when I'm eating the meat, I don't love it. I don't love eating the meat. I just don't. So when I see people who love and Joe reminded me of that, because I know she just told me the other day she was eating like 4 or 5 chicken chicken thighs or chicken legs or something she was eating. And so, it's like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to talk to my doctor and get together with a dietitian and really look at, what I'm trying to do and what I'm going to do. And we'll see, we'll see how it works out. But I'm just like, why was that on for the last few days, not just one day? It's just been heavy on my replay, popping up on when I'm scrolling. You said, so you're working on committing yourself to your home gym. Yes, me too. Once I get that solid, I may consider a personal trainer to get me all the way together. Yes. And I got that home gym too that's just sitting there waiting for me to come and do something. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wait. Indian on a GLP-1. How are you? Okay, wait, I'm trying to go down to see if anybody has questions. People are talking about personal trainers. I like my people. I need to check that channel. DD, use it for strength training. Yes, it's Lift with Z. I got that from Taisha in 2.0 Mommy, Jill. What a powerhouse. You are our official British royalty, isn't she? Live with C, it's fantastic. I was using her programs before I started working with the coach. Yes, that's where I got it from, you and 2.0 Mommy. Thank you. I'm just kind of scrolling down here. Jen said Jen says you pay her. There is no heart involved. Jen is not playing. Let me find out that GLP-1 have taken away y'all taste for. Some of you all are ruthless. I am a saint, nicest of all, innocent face. I had a weird experience with a personal trainer, so I haven't been back to one. Okay. Wait, what did she say? Turning 40 did that for you? Yeah. I love that you're staying true to the and our just perspective. Oh my goodness, ain't no love lost where you gotta pay. Jen is not playing. She is not playing. I had a good one some years back, just wasn't locked in. Yeah, I had a good one too. Thanks, Calamity Jane. My job works with some facilities to offer corporate discounts, which help with fees and such. My problem is factoring an extra 40, 60 minutes for traveling to work out. Jeez Louise. I think you read it like a person meant it. I don't appreciate that comment to you. I know it was just kind of like, but I gave it. I let them know where I stood in the best professional way. I'm good. Just enjoying back-to-back live sessions today. Jess, that's why I worked out at home. You don't need much, 10 to 20 pounds weight, resistance bands. That's about it, girl. Yes, it's free. Okay, you are so right, because I really thought I would lose more on 7.5, and that was not the case at all. I'm just never hungry. Okay, yeah, it's just if you're not hungry, you probably, with the help of your doctor, probably need to go back down on the dose. And I know, that's another thing. I never thought I'd be saying I'm not hungry. And I think sometimes on the GLP-1 community, we wear that like a badge of honor, right? That we're all proud because we're not hungry. We don't want anything to eat. And I think that's great at some point, right? When it first happens. But now that we're so educated about what's happening with our body and what's going on, food is your nourishment. So when you're not eating, you're not getting the nutrients and vitamins. And really for the men, even the men, people say when their hair starts to fall out, that's when they got the wake up call. I need to eat more. And my hair was even shedding. I did a whole video about my hair shedding, and I took you through the journey of my hair. I remember in high school, I was voted second runner-up to best hair. I've always had, things nicely done with my hair, and my hair has always been thick. So when I felt like my hair was shedding way beyond what I'm used to, I was like, oh no. And that's a key, that you're eating. You're not eating enough. So I do have in my stand store it's free, where you could download, tips on how to keep that hair looking good, and just kind of full. So, I said, I need to set a goal. I've been setting a goal for everything else. I need to set a goal, a hair goal. To thicken my hair back up, because my hair, and I know it happens with menopause and aging. We have so many things playing against us, but I really need to, kind of work on that. My skincare, I'm not into the skin. I would put Dove soap on my face and keep it moving. I'm not into the skincare, but I want to be into it. I have a little skincare routine now, and I'm only on this one because I've tried it out. It was at Ilmaki. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I tried it out and it's okay. But I want my skin to be looking like Nicole Bellflower. So I said I wasn't going to get her routine, but then I got this box in the mail where I guess I was on an automated page. So I think I canceled it. So I should not be getting another box, but I was on an automated and I hadn't even used what I had. I thought I'm just using this until that's it. And then I'm doing what Nicole does. Well, they sent me a box in the mail. So I'm using that currently, but I want to get on like a skincare routine. It seems to be working for me, working out at home. Yeah. If you could do it, that's great. What does the DEXA scan people say about GLP-1s? Great question, Jen. They say that people tend to not eat enough protein and to eat less. And there was this program that was, that they have there. I didn't ask for details because I wasn't interested, but they have like workout equipment and stuff on the other side. I'm at DEXA Fit, and the guy said, and we'll be talking about this because I think we maybe talk about DEXA scans more this week. But one of the things that the guy said to me was people who are in this program that they have, if you don't eat 100 grams of protein, they kick you out of the program. And you're responsible for tracking it, whatever. And I guess you could make it up, but they know that you're not doing it because your results are showing that it's not, you're not eating enough protein. So you have to at least eat 100 grams of protein. So that's what they say. People lose weight so fast on these GLP-1s, it zaps your muscle, and people aren't strength training enough and getting enough movement in. So, and you know why people aren't getting enough movement in on the GLP-1? Because people are tired. And why are they tired? Because they're not eating enough. So, and that might not be our case, because it seems like people are eating, but I find the people who aren't eating enough aren't really tracking it. So they, and they might say, oh, I feel good, or this is all I can do. And they're losing weight. They're just really worried about losing weight. Now, you might be somebody who all this happened to, you're looking good, you're looking muscular, you're fine with how you look and all of that, you're fine with how you feel. I would say if that's you, that's great. But a lot of people don't have that story. A lot of us are just glad to be losing weight, and we don't care about anything else going on. And so, over here on my channel, I care about losing weight. I want to look good, but I also want to be around for a longer time, than just the 80-year, 75 to 80-year stretch that, we're all, we're given. I want to be here till like I'm 100, plus, right? So I can see my kids, my grandkids, kids, things like that. So, so that's why I'm thinking about it more of long term. And when I started my journey, I was thinking long term. I wasn't thinking lose as fast as I can. Now, mind you, my insurance covers my Mounjaro. Now, when I retire, I don't know. I might be one of those people that's like, I got to get this weight off as quick as I can because I can't afford anything. So who knows? But for right now, that's where kind of what I started thinking my journey was going to be. And it really is going, pretty well. Once I stopped comparing myself to people that, were losing around and were around the same time I got into it, started taking my GLP-1. Once I start looking at other factors, like I'm older, I'm going through perimenopause, I'm almost into menopause, when I'm stressed out too. I got a highly stressful job. I'm a mom to an 8-year-old. I had children later in life, so it's a lot of things that I have going on that people don't have. And I had to take that into consideration. And that just kind of turned my frown upside down. And instead of thinking of my journey as lemons, I turned it into lemonade for me, right? For me, the lemonade for me. And so, I love that about myself. I just like that. I'm cool with what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I don't really worry about what other people are doing. That's one good thing I can say about myself. And when I say worried about it, I could take it or leave it. Now, am I curious? I want to see this, that, and the other. Yeah, we all are. But in the big scheme of things, I'm just kind of worried about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I'm setting my own pace for myself. I really feel that too. Like I set my own pace. So I love that. Let's see. I think I lost the comments. People are talking about working out at home. Yeah, those resistance bands are good too. I like those. I use those too. Okay, Jen asked the DEXA scan question. Let's see. Mel says she can now do 20 push-ups in a row. I love that. The compound by Lift with C is what I'm doing, Taisha. So I'll put that up there. Before we go, because I got to go to my daughter's class, I just want you guys to know that, I've been talking so much about that investment class. We actually had the class and it was great. Some of the people that were in the class is here, and I actually started a stock club. So if you're interested in being in the stock club, I did put it in the chat. You could go and check it out and see what it is. But we have 6 members in there, maybe 7 now. We had somebody join this morning. I think we might have 7 members in there. But I just thought that was good. So here, this is my stock club link. I kind of put it in there. But I'm going to give you my email address. So if you're interested, this is not Downsizing Diva's email address. This is my stock club email address. Diva Stock Club at gmail.com. I just love that, Diva Stock Club. I think that's so cool. So if you're interested, you want to know more about it, you don't want to be in here telling people, yeah, I want to know about these stocks, this, and that. It's a club. We're going to meet, you can go in there anytime and do anything. It's not like we don't have to meet up. It's just a club of people. We're going to be sharing ideas. We already have another live meeting. We were all live on there, seeing each other. I love that part. And, we're going to and you don't have to, if we know who you are and you don't want to show your face, but it, you know, I could have people who are in this circle that come on there and we want to know who they are, because, you know, we're talking about our money and our finances and all of that. So I'm excited about that. That's, you know, we're just going to be sharing. And then I love how on there, I'm probably be doing more on this platform that I'm on, because I love how it works. It's different than YouTube. And so, you know, I just got things planned in store. You know, the goal is to just grow your money. Like, you know, health is wealth. Really, health is wealth. So we're getting that part. We got the health part. Now we got to get the wealth part. And, you know, I'm going to be teaching, but I'm also going to be learning from these beautiful, I was going to say beauties, beautiful ladies and men. So if you're interested, check me out. I'm going to put my email up here again. You know, I'm going to, you know, have people tell if they are comfortable, you know, some of their wins. You know, I just had a Eli Lilly win. Maybe I'll share that one of these days. But now at this point, I'm just want to share, just save it for the actual, the school, and it's private. So like if you're on there and you're giving, you know, telling your information, everybody just can't come in off the street and go to the stock club. You got to actually join it. Or I can invite you to be a part of it, but it's great. I think it's great. I think all the ladies in there are serious about doing it. I'm going to be advertising it outside of YouTube, you know, eventually. We're just starting out, so we're small but mighty. I always say that. We're small but mighty, and I love it. I love it. All right, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. We have a super chat. What time is it? Okay, because I almost got to go. My daughter she has class in about 15 or 20 minutes here. Dee, try the compound by Lift with C. Please don't try to change too much at once. Minor adjustments. You've got this. Yes, that's what I do. That's what I do, Taisha. And I was doing that with my AP partner, and then we kind of faded off, and, you know, we never got back going. So now, you know, I'm kind of still doing it on my own, and I love that. You know, the only thing I don't like about it is when people have you getting up and down, but I guess that's a good way to get your heart rate up. That's probably why they do that, but it just annoys me. So sometimes I'd be like, wait a minute, see, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. Thank you, Taisha. Let's give her a thank you. All right. Thank you, Taisha. Thanks for the encouragement, because you are, I mean, definitely, you are an inspiration. All right, let's see. Monica. Hey, Monica, how are you? Thank you for becoming a member and welcome. I love that. Let's give her a thank you. I mean, well, I'm going to give you some confetti. How about that? We're going to give her some confetti. Thank you, thank you. You know, this week I'll probably be documenting some for them, especially for the members, because it's just quick and easy for me to do a quick video versus doing the whole shebang on this YouTube. But, you know, documenting some of my early morning getting up and getting this movement in. Geez, Louise, can I do it? Yes, I can. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Wait a minute, Kate donated 5, or gifted, I should say, 5 Downsizing Diva memberships. Oh my gosh, you know, we're getting close to 100 members. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? I love that. She says, Fairy Godmother Kate, granting wishes again. I know. Joe, how did you like that stock class, Joe? Joe was up in there taking notes, listening. Oh my goodness. I just love that. I love that. It's so all the women in there are kind of different too. So we need some men. It's Darium. We need some men up in there. You know, I said I was going to tell some of my friends, but I don't want all my friends coming in there taking over. We're taking over. You know, I want to work with people that I just, you know, I'm getting to know, a small little, maybe like if we grow bigger and bigger, we'll add some more people in. But we're just in there, honestly, we're in there talking about making money. That's really it. Like we're learning. I just love learning. We're learning new things. We're going to be learning new things, sharing what we know. And our goal is to build a portfolio and buy your first stock. If you've already bought your first stock, then your next goal is to build a banging portfolio. So again, I'm going to tell you guys, email me if you're interested. Email me if you have questions about it. You can contact me at divastockclub@gmail.com. You know, Stocks is my passion, and not because I'm so great at it. I just love. I'm fascinated. I love learning new things. I love seeing things grow, and so I'm just excited about sharing what I know and learning from people too. You're never too old to learn, so I'm excited to do that as well. So I got to get out of here. I mean, let me thank these people again. We got Simply Taisha, thank you. We got Monica, thank you for joining. And we got Kate for being our fairy godmother again and giving these memberships out. And so we have to schedule another members only live. We have so many members now again to welcome. I was calling myself doing that because we had a lot. So now we have even more. I think we have like 25 more since I had that last. Since I had my last one. JC is a member. She became a member today. And I want you guys to go check out her channel. These new content creators and people that are brave enough to share their stories. I mean, you got to give them some kudos because it is not easy peasy out here in these YouTube streets. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And so thank you, JC. So go to her channel, check her out, and I asked myself, how am I going to fit all this stuff in? I have another idea of something else I want to do. I might hold off and wait until see how this goes before I take on one more thing. But I just see, I'm like one of those people. I can see potential in people and I can see potential in myself. And when I move by things, I just do it. So, I'm like a doer. I follow through. So I have an idea and I say, I'm going to hold off because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all the stuff I'm trying to juggle. But one of the things I do know is I enjoy coming here and sharing my story on YouTube. And I'm just excited to see what happens. We got these holidays coming up. We got Halloween. We got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, whatever nationality you are, whatever religious belief you believe in, you could come and celebrate here with us and actually teach us about your culture and how you celebrate the holidays. I would love to do that. I do that with my students. So I would love somebody who wants to come on here and just tell us about how you celebrate. We love that. When I log off here, if you're not busy, go onto my community tab, my community post. I think they call it out the post. I have like a great song, inspirational song. My daughter and I love this song. We sing it all the time. I think it's a great testament to how I'm feeling today, right? I'm just feeling pure joy, being thankful, grateful, and blessed. So every time I leave here, I'm feeling, that's another reason why I come back. Every time I leave these lives, I feel thankful, grateful, and blessed. I never feel annoyed, upset, angry. So why wouldn't I keep coming back, right? So thank you again, you guys. I'm sorry I didn't get through all the comments. I do try to go back and look at the comments. If I skip something you said and you thought it was super important, Mel will tell me. Or Nicole. And if they don't tell me, I go back and I look and I can see. And so I appreciate you all coming. Thank you for cheering me on. We're getting closer. What are we, 23 pounds away from that? Is that 23 pounds? My math should be mathing. I'm 23 pounds away from that 100 and we're going to do it. All right. Happy Sunday. Thank you. Love you. Goodbye. Thank you. Love you. Bye.